In Asuncion, Paraguay, Christians gathered from around the world to attend the Summit for Peace and Reconciliation. Now, as I mentioned earlier in the program, this whole summit, it was hosted by Parliament and Faith, but it consists of international leaders, global leaders, including some presidents, some members of parliament, government ministers, pastors, ambassadors, a variety of Christian leaders from around the world. In fact, our very own Arielle Del Turco and Chris Gasick were there to speak at the event. And joining me now to discuss some of the things that they heard and shared in Paraguay is Arielle Del Turco. Chris Gasick, by the way, he is a senior fellow for regulatory affairs here at FRC. Arielle is the director of the Center for Religious Liberties, and she now joins us from Paraguay. Arielle, great to see you. Thanks for taking time to be with us.
So good to be with you, Jody.
Well, tell us a little bit more about the Summit for Peace and Reconciliation. What is the main focus of this event?
Yeah, so this is put on by an organization called Parliament and Faith. And really their goal is to bring together people from around the world with a common goal. And this year, their theme for their annual conference is peace and reconciliation. So they have invited people from Rwanda that survived the genocide. They had a pastor from Ukraine and from Russia speak on the stage together and pray together on stage. So we've had a lot of really profound moments where people affected by situations from around the world, tragic situations, are joining together, united for one cause. And really, it's a Christian organization. So
amazing. So why was it important, and I think it was, but for FRC to have a presence there and for you and Chris to be able to speak, why was that so important for FRC to be there?
Yeah, so FRC is doing more and more international outreach. But actually, one thing I thought that was so encouraging was that we are hearing feedback from FRC's impact across the years. We heard one speaker on the main stage talk about being invited to just attend the Values Voter Summit, which FRC used to put on every single year. Now it's called the Pray Vote Stand Summit. But he was a state legislator from Indiana, and he attended one of our summits, was so deeply impacted that it shaped his worldview. And now he's on a trajectory where he's an international leader, and he's speaking to a high-profile event in Paraguay, sharing a testimony about FRC that we were totally surprised by. We had never even met him. But really, it's showing the impact of FRC around the globe. So we are trying to continue that impact. And part of that is going out and speaking to some of these communities of government and pastoral leaders from other countries. Now it's in Paraguay to an international audience, but I think it's so important. And we're already seeing some of the benefits too.
That's remarkable. And I think it's so important for our listeners and viewers to recognize what you just shared, that FRC is enormously expanding the global footprint of the work of FRC around the world. And what you just said is so encouraging to hear how that is having such an impact. Arielle, if you can, share with us a little bit about what you shared in your speech. What was the message that you took?
Yeah, so I was on a panel on religious liberty, and I was able to share about some of FRC's work on the issue, representing FRC, but also just the situation around the world that Christians find themselves in, where religious freedom is being violated every single day. And here I really gave a call for action for governments to step up and protect religious freedom, but also for these governments and individuals, pastors, political leaders, to encourage other countries to also respect religious freedom. We've been speaking to activists in Paraguay who are trying to work with their government to see refugees, Christian refugees from Afghanistan and Pakistan, and to resettle them here in Paraguay. And she's fighting an uphill battle, trying to convince her government that this is a good idea, but really we wanted to foster that type of thing. We want to foster other countries promoting religious freedom and protecting it in their own borders. So that's a little bit of what I shared. Travis Weber, our Vice President of Policy and Government Affairs at FRC, will also be speaking from the main stage tomorrow, sharing about how FRC works and really giving some of these activists from other countries a blueprint of how FRC does things and how they might be able to do things if they wanted to start a pro-family, pro-life organization in their country.
Amazing. Arielle, we've just got less than a minute. How would you encourage American Christians here? What can we do to continue having an impact through FRC, in particular around the world? How can we be praying based upon what you're seeing there?
Yeah, we're living in very important times, really that our Earth's changing, right? We have a new administration with President Trump who's really making waves around the world, and we feel the impact even here. As American Christians, we need to be focused on influencing the Trump administration, praying for the Trump administration to make sure that their impact to these countries, these poorer, more vulnerable countries like Paraguay, that the impact of the U.S. government is good, is moral, stands for family values, and stands for life. One more thing I wanted to share was that the equivalent of the Speaker to the House at in Paraguay, he spoke on the opening ceremony, and he shared really passionately about his Christian faith. And even
Arielle, we've got to hold it right there. We're running out.